This is a video for 8th grade violins. This is an introduction to third position. We use third position in the ending to Postcards from Russia. So I want to explain how to do that. So basically, third position is you're moving your hand and you're shifting, and you're moving your hand so that your 1 replaces where your 3 is on a fingerboard. So if you take a look at my fingers, my 3 is in place on the A string. To shift into third position, you need to replace your third finger in that same very spot with your first finger. And in order to do that, we need to do a few things. Number 1, when you are shifting, you should have absolutely no tension. You shouldn't be gripping the violin at all. So what you should do is you have your first finger here in first position, all right, where your normal 1 goes. When you decide that you need to shift, what you need to do is you need to release the pressure on your finger, okay? You don't lift it all the way up, but you release the pressure, and you release the pressure if there's any on your thumb. That way, your hand can glide easily back and forth on the fingerboard. Now look, I'm not doing this. I'm not just pushing my finger up. What I'm doing is actually I am making my whole hand go as a unit. So, there are 3 steps to shifting. Number 1, the first step, is to release all pressure. Number 2 is to slide into place, to glide into place. And number 3 is to finally resume and use your pressure again at the end to have that note come out well. So again, you release the pressure and your hand glides along the string, and then you press down again. Okay, you can see that. Alright, so you release the pressure. So my finger is still touching the string, but it's barely touching the string. You glide up, no pressure at all, and then you add pressure again. Okay? So, to shift to third position, this is where your 3 is normally on the A string. What you need to do is replace that 3, that same note, the D, with a first finger. Okay, so we have to apply those 3 steps of shifting so that we get to the third finger spot and we don't go below and we don't go above the third finger spot. Okay, and you should practice a few times going back and forth, practicing those 3 steps. Releasing the pressure, gliding, and then arriving and pressing down again. And pretty soon, you're going to get there, and your hand is going to remember exactly where to go each time. So, if you take a look at the end of Postcards from Russia, if you take a look at my music here. Okay, so your part is up here. Okay, so this is, let's see, this is measure 62. At measure 62, you are playing a D. Okay, that D needs to have a 1 on it. Okay, so you're going to shift when you get to measure 62. You're going to shift into third position there. Okay, so this D is going to be a 1. Then, halfway through that measure, you'll notice that the notes change. So we have D, then we have E. Your E is going to be a high 2 in third position. The last note, or the second to last note in that measure, is an F natural. That's going to be a 3 that's squeezed next to your high 2 in third position. And the last note is a G, which is going to be a 4 that is away from your 3. So, let me show you how that works. So you play here at 60, this is what it sounds like. Then you have to shift. Okay. And then you have a 2 for your E, your 3 is squeezed for an F natural, and a 4 is the last note in that measure. Then, the next measure, we continue in third position. You keep your hand there until the very end of the piece. You have an A, which is normally a 3, but we are now in third position, so it's a 1. Then you have B natural, which is a 2. Then you have a C sharp, which is a spread 3. And then your 4 is squeezed next to it. And your D, the last note, you can either play the top note, which is the same 1, or you can play a 1 on the A string. Okay. The next measure, in measure 64, you have 2 different options. The bottom note is an E, which would be a 2 on the A string, or you can play the top E, which is a harmonic. So basically, rest your palm against the end of against the bout of your instrument. Place your fourth finger down until you hear it ring. You should not apply pressure. You should just let it ring. And then you have to go back into position for the A, the next measure in 65. And then we have 4, high 3, 4. So I'm going to play from 56 so you know exactly what that part sounds like.